Assalamu alaikum. How are you, student? I hope you are fine. As you know, my name is Mrs. Nilufar Ijaz. Today, I am going to start lecture number 13. I am your biology teacher. I hope you all are fine and safe at home. Today, I am going to start your lecture number 13. And this is the chapter number 6. And the title of the topic is, or the chapter is, Bryophytes and tracheophytes. According to evolutionary point of view, we are moving forward. Now the question is, what are bryophytes? Before discussing bryophyte, I would like to revise that how, from evolutionary point of view, we are on that topic of bryophyte. As the time passes, everything from the beginning, it is continuously changing, adopting new characters. From moving from lower state towards the higher state with a long period of time, it is usually called as the evolutionary time. First of all, we have studied viruses. Viruses were in between living and non-living things, and they were prokaryotes. What do you mean by prokaryotes? They do not have a proper nucleus. We studied the character of the viruses that you might be remember that they were in between living and non-living things. I am not discussing each and every point here, but only that they are prokaryotic and in between living and non-living things. Then comes the bacteria, which were advanced form than the viruses. Bacteria were little advanced than the viruses. They possess the characters of plants and animals. They were prokaryotic. What do you mean by prokaryotic? That the nucleus are without a nuclear membrane, or their RNA or DNA must be scattered in the cytoplasm. Then comes the cyanobacteria. Bacteria you have studied in very detail. Bacteria, they lie in between animals and plants. They possess some characters of animal and some characters of plants. Then some bacteria, they have proper shape. On the basis of their shape, we discussed that the types of bacteria. Perhaps you remember cocci, bacilli, spirilla, or vibrocoma. These were the four forms of viruses according to their shape. Then, not only on the basis of shape, but on the way of nutrition, bacteria were again divided into two groups: autotrophic groups or the heterotrophic group. What do you mean by autotrophic? That those bacteria which have chlorophyll, or they can manufacture their own food with simple organic substances, they were regarded as autotrophic bacteria, or the chemosynthetic bacteria. When they are present in such environment in which iron, sulfur or nitrogen is present, they can manufacture their own food. And then heterotrophic bacteria, they were of three types: parasitic bacteria, saprophytic bacteria, or symbiotic bacteria. These were those types which depends on other hosts. If their hosts were living, they were termed as parasitic bacteria. Then if they are growing, or they are found, or they are living on dead bodies or the debris of rubbish, they are termed as saprophytic bacteria. Then the third type of the bacteria which make an association with their host, and that was termed as symbiotic bacteria, and the process is called symbiosis. Both the bacteria and the host, they are beneficial for one another. Then comes the cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria were classified as a bacteria, but they have one character different, that they are eukaryotic. They have a proper nucleus in them. Clear? So this is the evolutionary point, and on these points we are moving towards the advanced form of plant. Is it clear to all of you? What do you mean by evolutionary point of view? Again I am telling you कि बहुत ही लोअर फॉर्म से डेवलप होते होते जो बहुत रिफाइन या बहुत ही लेटेस्ट फॉर्म या बहुत शानदार फॉर्म हमें नजर आती है, उसको जितना टाइम लोअर से अपर ग्रेड में आने में लगा है, इसमें साल हर साल लग जाते हैं। एक दिन दो दिन का मामला नहीं है, हजार साल लग जाते हैं एवोल्यूशनरी पॉइंट में। देन वन थिंग एवोल्यूट। So we are coming to the bryophyte. Bryophytes are the advancement of cyanobacteria, bacteria and viruses. इतनी लंबी मैंने जो डिटेल आपको इसलिए बताई है कि इससे पहले किसी भी क्लास में आपने और हमने ये चीज नहीं जानी थी कि एवोल्यूशनरी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू क्या होता है। इसीलिए ब्रायोफाइट्स जो कि प्लांट्स हैं, एक्चुअली दे आर प्लांट लाइक स्ट्रक्चर, जिसे अभी हम आगे डिटेल में बताएंगे। ये ब्रायोफाइट जो है, these bryophytes, they are the advanced form of cyanobacteria, bacteria, and viruses. This is the advanced form of these three categories. Now, what are bryophytes? On your screen, you can see the heading. What are bryophytes? Bryophyte क्या चीज है? This is entirely new topic for you. You have up till grade 8 not studied anything like that before. So I have divided this chapter into 3 topics or the 4 topics so that you can understood very easily. Now bryophyte, it is a Greek word. यूनान की जबान जो है उसका लफ्ज है ब्रायोफाइट. What is the meaning of bryophyte? Bryon. It is a Greek word, bryon. It means a moss. Phyton. It means a plant. So, what is the meaning of bryophyte? The meaning of bryophyte is a plant which is moss-like. I will let you know what are moss or what are mosses in the next in few hours. Bryophytes are multicellular, eukaryotic, chlorophyllous, non-vascular plant. All these terms you might be now familiar to these terms. Bryophytes are multicellular. It means their body is composed of many cells or more than one cell. Actually, they are made up of many cells. So they are multicellular, made up of many cells. Eukaryotic. Eukaryotic means all the bryophyte, the cells of bryophyte, they have a definite nucleus. It means nuclear membrane is present and other nuclear bounded structure like mitochondria, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, plastid, all these must be present in bryophyte. Chlorophyllous. What do you mean by chlorophyllous? They are green in color. They have chlorophyll. They have green color. They contain a plastid which is called chloroplast, and that is why they are termed as chlorophyllous. Non-vascular plant. Vascular plants are those plants which have vascular bundles. What are vascular bundles? Xylem, phloem, and in higher plant, cambium. Xylem, phloem, cambium is present in the plant, then they are termed as vascular plant. But here, no xylem, no phloem, no cambium found in bryophyte. Again, I am repeating, non-vascular plants means They do not have xylem, phloem, and the cambium. Is it clear? All point must be clear. I am going very slowly that you can understood each and every point. Now this is a close look of bryophyte plant. You can see they are very nearer to the ground. They are very nearer to the ground. Now the general characteristics of the bryophyte. They are amphibious, needing water for sexual reproduction. Bryophytes are simplest group of plants. They are relatively poorly adapted to the life on land. As you have seen in this picture, they are very nearer to the land. They are not growing on the erect position. These all they are the bryophytes. These all are the bryophytes. They are amphibious. What do you mean by amphibious? That with the land they need sufficient amount of water. Amphibious is the nature whenever anything survives on land as well as on water. But the plant, it cannot move from land to the water and water to the land. But they need a damp shady places in which their sexual reproduction takes place. It means that bryophytes are some male organs and some female organs, so they can perform the sexual reproduction. And you have studied that in case of viruses, bacteria, and cyanobacteria, there were no sexual reproduction. This is the advancement. Amphibians, now it is clear, they need damp, shady places or the land in which water is present, they grow there. देखिए एम्फीबियन अगर एनिमल है वो तो पानी में भी रहेगा और उचक के लैंड में भी चला जाएगा, लैंड से जंप करके वापस पानी में भी आ जाएगा. बट प्लांट्स आर रूटेड, पौधे जो है वो जमीन पर लगे हुए होते हैं, एक जगह से दूसरी जगह कूद के नहीं जा सकते. They can't jump from water to land and land to water. So they need a land in which water is present, so they can perform their sexual reproduction. They have chlorophyll. As I told you, they have chlorophyll. They are green in color. They are eukaryotic, that they have nuclear bounded structures. Nuclear has nuclear membrane, mitochondria, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, plastid, they all have their own membrane or their boundary wall. They have thalloid bodies. What do you mean by thalloid? You have observed the trees around you, they are growing in erect position. From the land towards the sky, they are moving and they are called erect position, in erect position. But they are thalloid, just like a thallus. They grow along with the surface of the land. जमीन की सतह के साथ साथ उगते हैं. They do not have vascular bundles, as I told you before. They do not have xylem and phloem. And naturally, when the xylem and phloem are not present, then cambium should be absent. Their roots are hair-like called rhizoid. They do not have proper root system. We have two types of root system, that is taproot system or the primary root system or the fibrous root system. And their special roots, they are called rhizoid. They have two types of generation called gametophyte and sporophyte. They passes their life in two ways. They perform their or they go throughout their life in two ways. One life in which a plant is formed, it is called gametophyte, and one life in which sexual organs are produced and they produce spores, that is called sporophyte. Now the classification of bryophyte. Classification of bryophyte. Bryophyte are classified into three main groups. Hepataceae, they are commonly called as liverworts. Example is Mertensia. It is dichotomously branched dorsiventral thalloid structure. Musaceae, or some people they call musci, both are correct because these are the Greek words. I call Musaceae. It's up to you. If you heard somebody is calling musci, then it is correct. Commonly, they are called mosses. Example is funaria. Funaria having rhizoid and a stem-like structure and a leaf-like structure. These stem-like and leaf-like structure, because they do not have vascular bundle, so they are called pseudo-stem and pseudo-leaf. Again, I am repeating, Musaceae, commonly called mosses. Example is funaria, and their stem and the leaves, they are called pseudo-stem and the pseudo-leaves because they do not have vascular bundle. All the bryophytes, they do not have vascular bundle. But funaria, they possess leaf-like or stem-like structure. Third group is called Anthocerotiae, or the commonly called as hornworts. Hornworts or Anthoceros is the example having horn-like capsule. सींग की तरह कैप्सूल नजर आते हैं. Now, this is the picture of Mertensia. You can see this is the thalloid-like structure. This is the structure and this structure is called thalloid. They are near to the ground. They are bifurcated. You can see they are divided into two pieces. Here you can observe very clearly. It is bifurcated. Next is Musaceae or the mosses. They are capsule. On the top you can see these are the capsule and they have spores in them. This is the stem-like structure. This is the another kind of Musaceae or the mosses. This is the example of Anthocerotiae or the Anthoceros or the hornwort. You can observe that they are like horn. जैसे सींग होते हैं उस तरह से ये निकले हुए हैं. That is why they are termed as horn. Now the structure on your screen, you can see the structure of funaria. Funaria is a gametophyte, consists of a rhizoid, pseudostem, and the leaf-like structure. First of all, roots are hair-like, and they are termed as rhizoid present at the base of the plant. Second one is the stem. Its stem is soft, cylindrical, and non-vascular. Then the leaf. As I told you, they are termed as pseudostem and the pseudoleaf. Leaves are non-vascular, stems are also non-vascular. Leaves are non-vascular, green and without stalk. They do not have stalk. Stalk कहते हैं डंडी को. लीफ के साथ एक डंडी लगी होती है, उसे कहते हैं leaf stalk. Branches. They have two types of branches. Male branch produces male sex organ called antheridium. Female branch, they produce female sex organs called archegonium. Now we are moving towards the picture. This is the original plant. You see, this is the stem. It is a pseudostem. These are rhizoid, which are not very clear, but they are fibrous or root-like. And the structure, that is the structure that leaf, stem and rhizoid. This portion is called gametophyte. This is the reproductive part. This is called gametophyte. Can you hear me? Can you see on the screen? That is the leaf-like structure, pseudo-leaf, pseudo-stem or the rhizoid. They are gametophyte. Now you can see a structure is arising from the leaves. This structure is called sporophyte. This structure is called sporophyte. It consists of capsule, seta, and the foot. This is the book picture of your book. This portion is the saprophytic portion, and this is the gametophytic generation. This is the main axis or the stem. These are the rhizoid or the leaf-like structure. And this is the saprophytic portion. It is called foot, seta, and the capsule. This is the structure of Lunaria. Now, next is fertilization. What is fertilization? I know that I have told you before. Whenever there is a fusion of male and female gametes, the process of fusion of male and female gamete is called fertilization. Fusion of male and female gamete is called fertilization. In case of funaria, it takes place when plant is submerged in water. When they are dipped in the water, the sexual reproduction takes place. They have two types of sex organ. Male organ, as I told you before, they are called antheridium and they produce sperm. Female organs are called archegonium and they produce egg or ova. When many sperms are produced and liberated in the water, they move towards the egg or ovum, and after their fusion, the nuclei of male and female gamete get fused and it forms a structure, and that structure is called zygote. Zygote is formed. Archegonium remain attached to the parent body, while the sperm they leave the antheridium or the male body. They leave the antheridium and they move towards the archegonium. Zygote is formed in archegonium which develops into the embryo. It divides the nucleus of the zygote, divide and redivide, and it divides and redivide, and it forms a structure which is called embryo. That embryo is actually a baby plant. It develops into sporophyte. And what is sporophyte? You can see here the sporophyte, it consists of three structures: foot, theta, and the capsule. This is the sporophyte. Here, the capsule is present in which spores are developed. Embryo develop into sporophyte. Sporophyte consists of three parts: foot, theta, and the capsule. Inside the capsule, a large number of microscopic spores are produced. Each spore develops into a new plant. This was all about your today's lecture, and I think that you understood everything. But one thing, in my opinion, should be revised again. That is the structure of funaria and the fertilization. Other things, when you will read your book, that must be clear from there. And if you have any question, then we will discuss in the further classes. The structure of funaria. Now we move towards the diagram. This is the structure of funaria. The lower portion, this is the rhizoid. This is root-like structure. On the root-like structure, stems are present. Stems are without vascular bundle. They are termed as pseudovascular bundle. And then the leaf. This whole structure, that is the rhizoid, the stem, and the leaf, they all together, they termed as gametophyte. This gametophyte is the vegetative part of the plant. They have two types of branches, male branches and the female branches. They produce male branches, they produce antheridium, and female branches, they produce female sex organ which is called archegony. Fertilization takes place, and after fertilization an embryo is formed, and this embryo develops into a sporophyte. The sporophyte consists of three portions: foot, theta, and capsule. Foot, theta, and capsule. This is called gametophyte, and this is called sporophyte. There is alternation of generation. This gametophyte moves towards the sporophyte, and sporophyte again produces gametophyte, and these gametophyte, they produces sporophyte. Sporophyte again produces gametophyte. This cycle is called alternation of generation. Here is the picture or the drawing. This is the capsule. This is the main axis and the rhizoid, and these are female branches. Here somewhere archegonium develops. This archegonium, when the plants are underwater, they receive sperms from the antheridium, and fertilization takes place. Fusion of male and female gamete is called fertilization, and it takes place when the plants are submerged in water, when they are dipped in the water. Male organs are called antheridium, they produce sperm, and the female organs are called archegonium, they produce egg or the ovule. When the sperm fuses with egg, they form zygote. which develop into the embryo. Embryo develop into sporophyte, and this sporophyte consists of three parts, that is foot, seta, and the capsule. This is the embryo. It develops into sporophyte. Sporophyte consists of how many parts? Three parts: foot, seta, and capsule. These capsules, inside the capsule, whatever the content, this content divide and redivide, and after so many divisions, microscopic spores are produced. When these spores, the number of spores increases, these capsules they burst out, and these spores they liberated on the land with water, and they develop into a new plant. Now, this is all about your today's class, and we have 1 or 2 minutes, and I'm not going to the session of question and answer in the next class, which will be on Friday, inshallah. I will give you some time. You note down your questions, whatever your difficulties. On that lecture, I will give you at least 5 to 10 minutes in the last, not in the beginning, in the last. Then we will do a session of question and answer. First of all, read it from your book, and this chapter is chapter 6 on page number 93 of your book. Read it again and again and find out or point out the difficulties you are facing, because this is very new topic. I know that you might be facing some problems, you might be facing some difficulty in learning. In the next class on Friday, the topic is